I'm Chaz.
I'm Sarah.
We are the 1.5ers.
We are here to herald a vision.
For our people, for our place. Of our food system,
Transformation.
we start with a mobilizing purpose
Something that brings our people together.
that gets them prepared to act.
We know that crisis brings people together.
COVID-19 has shown us how.
But the virus isn't a one-off.
Other crises are certain to follow.
The climate crisis is the one that,
Will affect us all.
for us young people, it has and will affect our
Entire lives.
1.5C is the line in the sand.
That we dare not cross.
We will be showing
A way to live.
that if everyone followed,
The climate crisis would be.
put on hold.
And 1.5C would be history. Here's our 2050 recipe.
It tastes real good.
Are y'all ready for this?
Well, Chaz, get it going.
Will do, Sarah. Let's start with our ingredients. First, there are young leaders, all 125,000 of them. But we had to find ways to change the economic equation. We needed food that paid our farmers fair wages and reduced the cost of the food our bodies needed. And we needed an economy that was resilient to crisis.
Next is our regen food community, which reinforces our communal nature of food. Then there's jobs, lots of jobs, 1.5 jobs, fair and just, and social entrepreneurial.
Then there's action, political action, to make laws which make it possible.
Last, there's our food and health data system. I don't want to give away the details yet, but it's super cool.
First up is our young people ecosystem.
And step one is this. Chaz, you've got to speak to it. It was your idea.
A 1.5ers Young Leadership Commission, diverse, urban, rural, Black, white, Latin, rich, poor, and autonomous.
Step two is community impact, experiential learning. It's learning in the real world that makes our communities stronger and advances the 1.5ers mission.
Step three are resilience researchers. Our young people will be testing new crop species, testing new regen growing processes, testing new ways to teach cooking, testing new ways to communicate what we are doing through art and music, testing and learning, and then teaching our people to change our communities.
Step three is our annual Youth Leader Conference at the Hub. To lift up our research, to give voice to our artists, to gain collective wisdom from our young people as teachers, and to excite the next generation.
Step four is 1.5 apprenticeships for all. With kids working with former 1.5ers, everyone has a mentor, or two, or three, or 40. Experience growing, experience cooking, experience entrepreneurship, and experience life.
Step five is our 1.5 Service Corps, in which all youth will be serving our communities, planting carbon sequestering trees, planting pollinators, establishing beehives, whatever we need to improve the resilience of our overall food system.
Step six is entrepreneurship and food curriculum, where all youth will be learning how to grow and how to run and start 1.5ers businesses. The next ingredient is a new economy.
We needed resilience to economic crisis. We needed the economics of hope. We needed to have our own supply chains. We needed to keep our people employed.
We needed to be local.
But a new local economy isn't enough.
We needed to make regen and just food occupations true livelihoods, and we needed to reduce the cost of this food for all.
We saw 5 new income sources. The first, the shifting of federal and state subsidies for failing big ag farming.
The second, impact investing, Our Dayton Impact Investing Loan Fund will let us invest in us.
The third, healthcare subsidies for health through regen and just food.
The fourth, sales to the carbon market.
It could bring in as much as $100 million to our farmers.
The fifth, the growing of higher value medicinal and fiber foods can shift some of the big pharma's profits to our farmers.
Who knows how much that could bring in?
The next ingredient is
our regen food community.
Our rural farms have shifted to only regeneratively grown food.
And home and community farms exist everywhere.
We now are feeding our region and exporting to other places in the world suffering from shortage.
And our region is now carbon negative.
But bringing it all together are our farming mentors.
Every neighborhood has a mentor who is also a peer.
And every rural community has likewise.
And every neighborhood
and rural community
will have farm and food centers
where farmers can come to learn,
share food,
share advice,
share a meal or a coffee,
and get access to the farming advice
emerging from our young researchers
and our food data system. We call it open source farming.
And every person will
know their farmer.
DNA tagging of all of our food
will permit people to know who has grown,
what they eat.
A communal nature of food is the next ingredient.
Community is important, not just to our growers,
but also our food consumers
and foodpreneurs.
Leading the way,
our Gem City markets
and its satellites
and bodegas,
which are sprinkled throughout our region,
where people go to purchase their food
and learn about nutrition
and cultural cooking
and community.
And the really cool thing is that
they are worker owned.
Community also defines our workplaces.
Fast food are long gone, and 1.5ers restaurants have
replaced all of our chains.
They are all farm to table,
with menus showing not only cost,
but the carbon sequestered.
And these are also cooperatively owned.
Our restaurants are now designed
to bring people together. The next ingredient is jobs.
But not Steve Jobs.
Yeah, employment jobs.
First off are our home and community regen food farmers
who are earning supplemental income
from the food that they produce.
Next up are our 1.5 greenhouses,
which are providing employment
to our youth apprentices
living within 1.5 miles of the greenhouses,
growing food and fish
for year-round consumption
and supplementing winter season. Next up are our large-scale regen farmers
who have shifted from monoculture,
growing that was killing our land.
Now their farms have reduced in size
and improved their resilience to climate change.
But their income has increased.
Will also have created jobs
to move and process our food.
The food will be moved from harvest
to processing
to the food consumption markets
with a just-in-time philosophy.
By the way,
this means zero waste.
Will also have created
farm-to-school enterprises,
preparing the meals that our kids
eat for lunch. We'll have jobs in our restaurants
and comfort food stations.
Maybe not new jobs, but at least
they keep our dollars local.
And they are cooperatively owned.
In our 1.5ers restaurants,
our workers will have voice.
Our neighborhood growing food and health centers
will have not only peer farming mentorship
and tool checkout,
but they will also have teaching kitchens,
which help residents learn new healthy cooking.
They will also be the office
for our peer health coaches.
Our food and health data systems will
come with high-tech jobs and
youth mentorship.
help wanted data scientists.
But not all of our jobs will be.
Food and health connected.
Our bioregional focus means
That we need to create our own supply chains
we need to make what we need.
and buy what we make.
So in 2050,
We'll have social entrepreneurs
of all types filling our now vacant spaces.
and impacting the lives of our community.
Our school's entrepreneurial education
And apprenticeships.
feed this ecosystem
And we'll have open source entrepreneurs
whose network supports the creation.
of new businesses.
The next ingredient is policy change.
In this, we have 3 thrusts.
Declare, commit, institutionalize.
These changes will follow this process.
Develop a policy design for early adoption.
In our most progressive communities,
Then rely upon youth activism.
and influence to get broad adoption
The first action will be to get a declaration
for a climate emergency.
to help our young people.
Mobilize our community to respond.
The next policies to develop
Aim at removing barriers for regen food
to permit front yard farms.
and the raising of animals and insects.
The next policies to develop
Aim at removing barriers for regen food
and to permit public and business food, berry and pollinator forests.
and the raising of animals and insects.
We also need political effort
To shift federal subsidies of failing big ag farms
to support regen and just food,
and to enable our farms to be our bioregions.
renewable energy centers. Last of all,
We will work politically
to institutionalize regen and just food.
as the only option for our farmers.
Last, because our food and health data systems,
Have been combined
we will have been able to predict
the health value of our foods
and tailor the nutrition requirements.
for each of our community members.
In the end,
We will be able to construct
customized health plans.
resilience. We understand the failure of our rational actor.
That even if provided a plan for being better,
Most people will not succeed.
health is communal,
Our vision includes the creation,
of neighborhood health teams.
supervised by a peer health coach.
In these teams,
Individuals share their health plans
and give support and are supported.
by their friends.
Resilience.
So there we have it.
That is our recipe for success.
Let's get started.